72% of Americans have a car payment. The average monthly cost is $650. That's $7,800 a year. For 30 years, if you never miss a payment, that's $234,000. And most people will never own their car outright because they trade it in before the loan ends. They reset the clock. They do it again and again. You feel it every month. That charge hits your account and you adjust. You tell yourself it's normal. Everyone has a car payment. But here's the number nobody mentions. The average car sits parked 96% of the time. You're paying $7,800 a year for something that does nothing 23 hours a day. You're not buying transportation. You're buying the illusion of status, and it's bleeding you dry. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how the car payment cycle works, why it's designed to trap you, and how to break it without downgrading your life. But here's the part nobody tells you. The system doesn't want you to own anything. Most people believe a car payment is just part of life, like rent, like taxes. You need a car. Cars cost money, so you finance. That's the logic, and it sounds reasonable until you realize who benefits from that logic. Not you. Machiavelli wrote that the greatest trick of power is making control look like convenience. When you finance a car, you're not gaining mobility. You're locking yourself into a contract that guarantees your income flows to someone else before it ever touches your life. The dealership, the bank, the insurance company, they all get paid first. You get what's left. And here's the design. Every time you get close to paying it off, they dangle a new model, lower interest rate, better features. Trade in your old car and start fresh. It's not a scam. It's a structure. A system built to keep you paying forever. Because the goal was never to sell you a car. The goal was to sell you a payment. I bought my first car at 22. Used Honda, $12,000. I financed it because that's what I thought adults did. $340 a month. I told myself it was fine. I had a job. I could handle it. But 2 years in, I realized I wasn't paying for the car anymore. I was paying to keep the payment. I couldn't save. I couldn't invest. Every month, that $340 disappeared before I even thought about building anything. And when the transmission failed, I didn't have the cash to fix it. So I traded it in, started over. New loan, new payment. Same trap. It wasn't until I read Machiavelli that I understood what was happening. He said the prince must control the resources, not depend on them. I wasn't controlling anything. I was dependent. And dependence is the opposite of wealth. Machiavelli started making sense to me, not as philosophy, but as survival. And if this makes you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. Henry Ford didn't get rich selling cars. He got rich creating a system where every American needed one. In 1908, he launched the Model T. It wasn't the first car. It was the first car designed for the middle class. 15 million sold. But Ford's real genius wasn't the product. It was the payment plan. In 1919, General Motors introduced GMAC, the first auto financing arm. Suddenly, you didn't need $500 cash. You needed $15 a month. Ownership became access, and access became dependency. By 1925, 75% of cars were sold on credit. Ford resisted financing at first. He believed in cash, but he lost market share and eventually caved. The system won. Because once people got used to paying monthly, they never stopped. They upgraded, they refinanced, they died with car payments. That's not luck. That's strategy. Strategy 1. Stop calling it a car payment. Call it what it is, a monthly wealth transfer. Every month, $650 leaves your account. That's $650 that will never compound, never grow, never work for you. If you invested that same amount in an index fund averaging 8% annual return, in 30 years you have $950,000. Not $234,000 spent, $950,000 built. The car depreciates, the investment appreciates. One makes you poorer, one makes you richer. Most people see the payment as the cost of the car, but the real cost is the opportunity you're killing every single month. Machiavelli said the wise prince does not spend his treasury on things that lose value. Your income is your treasury. Every dollar you allocate to depreciation is a dollar you can't allocate to acquisition. Think of money as water. You have a limited supply every month. The car payment is a hole in the bucket. It doesn't matter how much you earn if the hole is $650 wide. Plug the hole. Stop the transfer. Strategy 2. Understand the dealer's incentive structure. They do not make money selling you a car. They make money selling you a loan. The average dealer profit on a new car sale is $1,200. The average dealer profit on financing that same car is $2,500, more than double. That's why they push the monthly payment, not the total price. They'll ask what you can afford per month, not what you want to pay total. Because once they know your monthly limit, they can stretch the loan term to fit any price into that number. You say you can afford $400 a month, they'll sell you a $30,000 car on a 72-month loan instead of a $20,000 car on a 48-month loan. Same payment, different trap. You're not negotiating the car, you're negotiating the cage. The dealer's job is to make the payment feel small. Your job is to see the total, not the monthly. The total, always the total. Strategy 3. Realize the car is not the asset, the cash flow is. Most people think ownership is the goal. Pay off the car and you own it. But by the time you pay it off, it's worth 30% of what you paid. You spent $30,000, it's worth $9,000. You didn't build equity, you bought depreciation on a payment plan. The real asset is the $650 per month you're no longer sending to the bank. That's $7,800 a year in cash flow you now control. But here's what most people do. They pay off the car and immediately feel like they have extra money, so they upgrade. New car, new payment. They never capture the cash flow. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who cannot hold his gains will lose them to the next contender. If you pay off a car and immediately finance another, you never held anything, you reset. The system wants you to reset, because the moment you own something outright, you stop paying, and they can't have that. Strategy 4. Buy used, pay cash, drive it until the wheels fall off. The average new car loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. In the first year, it loses 30%. By year 3, it's lost 50%. You're not buying a car, you're buying a depreciating liability and paying interest on top of the loss. A 3-year-old car has already absorbed the worst of the depreciation. You're buying it at 50 cents on the dollar. Same car, half the cost. And if you pay cash, there's no interest, no monthly payment, no transfer of wealth. You own it day one. Most people will say they don't have the cash. That's because they've been making payments their whole life. They've never accumulated cash because every dollar goes out the door before it can stack. Break the cycle. Save $6,000, buy a used Toyota Camry, drive it for 8 years. That's $750 per year, $62 per month, not $650, $62. The difference is $588 a month you now control. That's the gap between broke and building. Strategy 5. Treat your car like a tool, not a signal. Most people buy cars to communicate status, success, stability. They want the neighbors to see the brand, the coworkers to notice the year, the family to feel proud. But the car doesn't signal wealth, it signals cash flow allocation. When someone pulls up in a $60,000 SUV, they're not showing you they have money, they're showing you they're spending it. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved, but it is better still to be underestimated." The person driving the 10-year-old sedan with no payment might have $300,000 in index funds. The person in the brand new lease might have $19 in checking. You can't tell wealth by looking at the car, you can only tell spending. And spending is not wealth, it's the opposite. Your car's job is to move you from point A to point B. If it does that reliably, it's doing its job. Everything else is decoration, and decoration costs. Stop decorating, start building. Strategy 6. Run the real numbers before you finance anything. Most people never calculate the total cost of the loan. They see the monthly payment and sign, but the payment is not the cost. Here's the formula. Principal plus interest plus insurance plus maintenance plus depreciation. That's the real cost. Let's run it. $30,000 car, financed at 6% over 60 months. Monthly payment is $580. That's $34,800 over 5 years. You just paid $4,800 in interest. Add full coverage insurance, $150 per month. That's $9,000 over 5 years. Add maintenance, oil changes, tires, brakes, $50 per month, $3,000 over 5 years. Add depreciation. Car is now worth $15,000. You lost $15,000 in value. Total real cost, $34,800 in payments, plus $9,000 insurance, plus $3,000 maintenance, plus $15,000 depreciation. That's $61,800 for a car you financed at $30,000. You didn't buy a car, you bought a black hole. Strategy 7. Build a car fund, not a car payment. Here's the shift. Instead of sending $650 to a lender every month, send it to yourself. Open a separate savings account. Auto transfer $650 per month. In 1 year, you have $7,800. In 2 years, $15,600. That's enough to buy a reliable used car in cash. But here's the part most people miss. You don't stop the transfer after you buy the car. You keep going. The car fund becomes your maintenance fund, then your upgrade fund, then your wealth fund. The payment never stops, but the direction changes. It's no longer flowing out, it's flowing in. Machiavelli said the prince must fortify his position in times of peace, not during war. When you have no car payment, that's peace. Fortify, build the fund, because the next expense is coming. The transmission will fail, the tires will bald, the engine will knock. If you don't have cash, you'll finance, and the cycle starts again. The fund is the buffer is control. Strategy 8. Understand the insurance trap. When you finance a car, the lender requires full coverage insurance, comprehensive, collision, liability. You have no choice. That's $100 to $200 per month, depending on your age and record. But when you own a car outright, you can drop comprehensive and collision. You only need liability. That's state minimum, $30 to $60 per month. You just cut your insurance cost by 70%. And here's why that matters. Over 10 years, that's $12,000 to $18,000 saved. That's another used car in cash. The system doesn't want you to own the car, because when you own it, you control the cost. When you finance it, they control you. Every layer of the car payment trap is designed to extract. The loan extracts interest, the insurance extracts premium, the dealer extracts fees, and you're left holding the asset that loses value while they hold the cash that grows. Flip it. Own the car. Control the cost. Keep the cash. Strategy 9. Stop trading in. Start stacking. The trade-in is the reset button. You owe $15,000 on your current car. It's worth $12,000. You're $3,000 underwater. But the dealer says no problem. We'll roll that into your new loan. Now you're financing a $30,000 car plus the $3,000 you still owe on the old one. New loan, $33,000. And you think you got rid of the problem. You didn't. You compounded it. Negative equity rolls forward. Every trade-in while underwater digs the hole deeper, and the dealer loves it because now you're locked in. You can't sell the car privately. You can't pay it off. You're stuck. The only move is to stop trading. Drive the car until it's paid off, then keep driving it. No payment means every dollar you were sending to the lender stays with you.
That's the stack. Month 1 after payoff, $650 saved. Month 12, $7,800 saved. Month 24, $15,600 saved. That's when you buy your next car in cash, and you still have the paid-off car as a backup. Now you have 2 cars and no payment. That's leverage. Strategy 10. Recognize the lifestyle inflation trigger. The car payment is the gateway. Once you accept a $650 monthly obligation, your brain recalibrates. That becomes your baseline. Then the furniture store offers financing, 0% for 12 months. You take it. Then the credit card offers points. You use it. Then the mortgage broker says you qualify for more house. You stretch. Every financed item adds to the monthly baseline, and the baseline becomes your identity. You're no longer building, you're servicing. Payments on the car, payments on the couch, payments on the phone, payments on the house. Your income is spoken for before you even see it. Machiavelli wrote that the prince who depends on borrowed strength will fall the moment the loan is called. Your lifestyle is borrowed, the payments are the call, and the moment you lose income, the whole structure collapses. No savings, no buffer, just obligations. The car payment is the first domino. Don't let it fall. You felt it at the beginning of this video, that tightness in your chest when the payment posts, the moment you see your balance drop and you know it's going to the lender, not to you, not to your future, to someone else's profit. That was then. You thought it was normal. You thought everyone carried debt. You thought the payment was just the price of participation. But now you see it. The payment is not the price. It's the trap. The car is not the asset. The cash flow is. And every month you make that payment, you're choosing their wealth over yours. Most people will hear this and do nothing. They'll nod. They'll agree. They'll say it makes sense. And tomorrow they'll make the payment. Because it's easier to stay in the system than to break out. But a few will act. A few will run the numbers. A few will realize they've been paying for depreciation while calling it ownership. A few will stop the transfer, build the fund, buy the car in cash, and reclaim the $650 a month that should have been building wealth. Decide which one you are. If this shifted the way you see things, don't stop here. What you heard is only the surface. Most people treat money like a consequence. A few treat it like a weapon. This channel exists for the second group. No fluff, no noise, just strategy. Subscribe, because the next video will show you what to do with the $650 you just freed up, and it's not what you think. Most people will watch this and move on. A few will stay and change. Decide which one you are.